Que lo que Knicks fans, welcome to episode 60 of Knicks fans Wildin', and you gotta clown yourself sometimes. So on three, one, two, three, Cancun, because that's where the New York Knicks are. We're right in Cancun. If you see my background, it's La Vaquita. If you've ever been to Cancun, it's like my little favorite spot, man. It gets pretty lit in there. Check out free promo for La Vaquita, man. But let's not go into Cancun because I'm out here right now. I've seen the whole Knicks team. Tom Thibodeau's at the bar right now, RJ, and they all chilling at the beach. But man, in all seriousness, Knicks lose 96-91. Recording this, I feel good. Like I got to record it 1 week later. Kind of just got my thoughts together. Actually saw Miami win game one, so I'm like, all right, this team is pretty good. But either way, it was still a disappointing series. There's no way cutting around that. Still a great year, great season, but still a disappointing series that we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna dive right in. God bring the man, co-host, my guy Don Juan. Tell the people it's really good, man.
Okay, what's going on, Nick fans? A week later, we like Triple M said, we had to, go back to our own, you know, get our mind right after losing, and after making our first appearance in a decade exactly, made it to the playoffs. It hurt, man. Especially us just overlooking the Heat completely. Especially me, I said Knicks in five, but nonetheless, it does take some time to think about, react, reflect. But now we're here with the guys, and we're gonna reflect and tell you how we really feel. And honestly, also look back at how great the season was, man. Because at the end of the day, not many expected the Knicks to make it this far. So I can't wait to talk about it. I know Zebo gonna drop some gems, especially some gems on his boy, because his boy
Mhm.
had a great postseason.
Yeah, on that note, man, we gotta bring in Zebo. Tell the people it's really good.
Oh man, obviously, bro, a little salty. Was good, man. A little bit disappointing, a little salty, but I'm on my Giannis vibes right now. I'm on my Giannis vibes right now. When you work towards a goal, it's not a failure, my boy. It's steps to success. So that's how I'm looking at it right now. I'm smiling, bro. I'm on my B Giannis vibes. So I'm
Oh man,
chilling. It is what it
yeah.
is, man. Two games from the Eastern Conference Finals. Honest, it's crazy, bro. Like, just real quick, but like when the season actually started, did any of us really imagine that this would happen? So come on.
Yeah,
Nah.
I mean it's still too soon for me, bro. Still too soon for me. I'm not jacking that right now. I'm still tight because two games and like I've told you guys a lot of time. I feel like it was a perfect storm for the Knicks this year. We beat up on a young Cavs team that we just outbullied. Then we get this Miami Heat team that's just down players. Like Tyler Hero is gone. Got Kevin Love starting. Kevin Love didn't even play for most of the year. So I felt like this was a perfect opportunity to reach the Eastern Conference Finals, and we fumbled the bag. We fumbled the bag. So before I go talk about that, because you see how I feel, I'm gonna start actually with Zebo, because Zebo, let's bring some. This is a positive show, so let's bring some early positivity. Zebo, Knicks lose the series 4-2, man. What you like, what you didn't like, and give us your overall take on the New York Knicks season 2022-2023 officially done.
Yeah, bro. I mean, listen. First and foremost, of what I liked. I mean, obviously, bro. I mean, the MVP of the season, bro, Jalen Brunson, bro. Like the MVP of the Knicks, bro, of just our season, of just keeping us there. Jalen Brunson, bro. He carried us. He basically carried us to those two wins. So that was. I think that's the only positive. And also, bro, honestly, we played good D. Like I feel like we were in the. I feel like we were in all. Not the game four in Miami, but I feel like we were in most of those games, and so I think our defense actually played pretty well. I think actually, to be honest, we did a pretty good job on Jimmy. I think in the last game he only shot 7 for 22. So, I mean, for me, the two biggest positives from the series is obviously Jalen Brunson. He just it doesn't. honestly, it didn't matter who was playing defense on him. He just was cooking for us the whole time. And yeah, man, I mean, we kept the start, I feel like we kept their star player intact. So, as far as the negatives, the offense, man, the offense just was not crisp at all. The ball was not moving. I feel like all of the strengths that we did have in the Cleveland series that really carried us to to that win against Cleveland, it just never carried on to Miami. I don't think we didn't do a good job on the offensive boards. We didn't do a good job in taking care of the ball. There were a lot of turnovers. We didn't do a good job as far as moving the ball. I feel like we didn't get too many. I didn't feel like we got a lot of open looks. I feel like there was no one there to really help Jalen Brunson. And then obviously, man, I think the biggest thing is that I said it in the beginning of the series. I think for us to win against Miami, we need RJ Barrett and Julius Randle to have a great series. And it just didn't happen. Obviously, I feel like RJ actually played pretty decent. He actually did really well. Obviously, the last game was horrible. But I think before that, he actually did a good job. He actually did a good job in playing, in playing in sync with Jalen Brunson, in Game 5, and also in a few of the games. And yeah, man, Julius Randle, it just wasn't it for our guy. My guy was holding the ball. He was holding the ball too much. Didn't shot the ball very well. And the thing we've been talking about the whole season, man, those mental lapses. It just kept going on over and over again. And it wasn't a good series for my guy. I can't defend it. Obviously, you hear my voice right now.
Sounds
It
sad.
just wasn't good at all. Nah, man, it just wasn't good at all, man. I feel like Miami really did. I feel like Miami did a good job and honestly, just when you play somebody like that multiple games for 2 weeks. I mean, they're gonna attack your weaknesses. They're gonna know that, okay, man, this guy. There's times where he just where it looks like he's mentally weak, and we're gonna go ahead and attack
Now
that every
we're,
single
we're gonna
time.
we're
And
gonna
so
dive into Randall. We're gonna dive into Randall. So
yeah,
just
and I know
give me a
yeah.
season, man. Give me a season overall. Say
Yeah, I mean, overall, bro, like I said before, obviously I'm disappointed, but I don't think the season was a failure. I'm obviously with the whole Giannis, like a lot of people joking around about it, but honestly, bro, I don't see it. I don't see the season as a failure. I enjoyed this season. Like this is honestly the best Knicks season of my life. Even the 2013, honestly, it's better than the 2013 season because with the 2013 season, I mean, if I feel like even with us getting past Boston and going against Indiana, I feel like it was inevitable that we was probably going to lose to Miami. So with this season, obviously it was a little bit more wide open. The excitement of knowing that, okay, man, the number one seed got eliminated by the AFC. Like, man, we can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're not scared of Boston. So that was pretty exciting for us, and also just to see that, man, just to see that we did lock down our guy, man. We locked down our point guard for the future, Jalen Brunson, man, because I didn't think I would live to see the day. I mean, you go through the Knicks point guards that we've had, basically in our league or in our Knicks fan lives. Like, Marbury didn't really work out. Who else we had? We had, man, Raymond Felton, man. Just to see the multiple guards that have passed through New York, and just to see that we locked down the person that I think can really carry us or can be a great number, could be an amazing number two on a championship team was amazing, man. And so yeah, man, I don't really see the season as a total failure. I think our role players actually played really well this regular season. And obviously, as much as we're going to come at Julius Randle for his performance in the playoffs, man, listen, man, we can't front, bro. He carried us during the regular season. Like, we're talking about 25 and 10. Like, we're talking about stretches where we're just like, where we're looking at him and we're like, okay, nah, he's like he can go toe to toe with any single player in the NBA. And you can't even front Triple M. Like, listen, man, we was there for that Minnesota game, even though we lost it. My boy went and dropped a 50 piece. Like I've never seen that in my life. You never seen it either. So I mean, listen, as much as we're coming at Julius Randle for his playoff performance, and obviously it's valid, he gave us some great memories this regular season. He really did his thing. And so obviously, and then also for Tibbs, I mean, listen, man, Tibbs did a great job, like mid season. going for the going ahead and making the lineup change for Fournier and Rose, and to to bring in the young guys. And so I feel like overall, man, we did again. We accomplished what we wanted to, which was obviously an improvement in the record. We made it to the playoffs. We actually won a playoff series, which, to be honest, I didn't think was possible at the beginning of the season. And so, yeah, I'm not gonna say it was a play. I'm not gonna say it was a failure. It was definitely, again, man, this was steps to success, man.
Don't
I'm
give me that yawn.
satisfied.
Don't give me
I'm
that
gonna get
yawn.
yo. Listen, I'm gonna give y'all the Giannis, man.
I'm not trying to
I'm
listen.
really content. I'm content with the season, man. Like we were 2 games away from the Eastern Conference Finals. And listen, man, I'm gonna give Miami their flowers, man. Like we lost to the best coach in the NBA. Come for that's confirmed. We lost to the best play.
Confirm.
We lost to a Hall of yeah, man. Listen, we lost to a Hall of Fame player in Jimmy Butler. Like, listen, man, as much as he's not in that LeBron, Giannis level, like we've seen this man over and over again for the past few years, like just go insane in some of these playoff performances. And so yeah, man. Listen, when you go against a team like Miami that's been there, done that, even with their undrafted players, even without Tyler Hero, like listen, they didn't have Tyler Hero last year, and they were within a shot of making it to the NBA Finals. And so for us to lose to that team, I I'll take it. We got to 6 games, man. It wasn't a sweep. It wasn't a gentleman's sweep. We got to 6 games, man. Like we definitely had
That's
them on their
okay, Z.
toes.
Zebo spreading that positivity. If
Lot
you
of
was
Yeah,
feeling
positivity.
bro.
negative,
Nah, listen, man.
if
I'm
you
just
was
not.
feeling
I'm
negative,
just
I know Zebo gave you that positive spin right now.
Yeah, bro. I'm just not gonna act like some of these fans, bro, that have been Knicks fans for 2 weeks, bro. Because I honestly, bro, I feel like the people really talking shit are Knicks fans that have just been fans for like the last week right now. So I'm not even what like all the negativity that I see online and all that. I'm not
Mm,
even hearing none of that because they haven't seen what's happened overall this season. Like, if you've really watched this season, man, honestly, like you've enjoyed it. Obviously, when that game 6 loss was bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was heartbroken. Like, we was all there, like we was tight. But after thinking about it for a few days and just seeing some of the bullshit I'm hearing, I'm just like, nah, man, it's like y'all going overboard.
oh,
Y'all
Zebo
bugging.
coming to the negative side. He coming to the negative side right there, bro. Chill out, chill out.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's all valid points, bro. That's all great valid points. Before I kick it to you, Don Juan, let me just go. Obviously, the positive of the playoffs is Jalen Brunson. It's not you can't even go any further. And the negatives for me is like I keep saying, bro. We fumbled the bag and we flopped. The team we bullied teams all year, hustling, getting to them loose balls, just out hustling teams, and the Heat out hustled us. I mean, they were the one diving for the ball, getting all the smart plays, drawing the charges, and we left my boy Jalen Brunson out there by himself. I mean, the man played 48 minutes to secure a Game 5 win. He had to play another 45 minutes. Uh, and the Knicks still lost. He had, I think it was 14 field goals. The rest of the Knicks team had 13. I mean, come on. Like the game is right there for the taking, and we just flopped. The lights were too bright for us. Um, the lights was just way too bright for the New York Knicks, and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. Just like I said in the beginning of the show, I really felt like this was the year they could have done something. Obviously, I moved the goalpost because I was not expecting it. But once we was there, the goalpost got moved. I'm not even hiding from it. Like, and I really, really wanted this series, and I really, really feel like we should have won. I mean, any logical Heat fan will say if you just look at rosters, not coaching rosters, the Knicks have the better roster. You know what I mean? And like Zebo said, you got to give Spo his flowers. He really told the Knicks, "Yo, if y'all gonna beat us, shoot it." And the Knicks shot it and shot it and shot it and missed and missed and missed. And you got to give that's just good coaching. Tibbs, he fumbled the bag too. Changing the rotation for game 2. I mean, for game the second round of the Eastern Conference Final. He just changes it. Excuse me, the semi changed Josh Hart starting instead of Grimes, so that was just bad. Messed up the whole flow. And yeah, I mean, going into the season, nobody could say this is a disappointing season. I mean, you have a star player, fellas. We have a star player in Jalen Brunson. He is a star in this league. You had Emmanuel Quickly, a potential 6 man of the year. I mean, a six man of the year candidate. Almost won it. Should have won it, I think. And Julius Randle, All NBA third team, All Star. That's still talking regular season. That's regular season success right there. And the Knicks went from a projected 39 wins and they won 47 wins. And they made it to the second round for the first time in 10 years. 10 years. Definitely one of the best Knicks season of my life because last time I couldn't even hit the bar when the Knicks went to the East in the second round. Now I was all over the balls. I was jumping on stands. I was crowd surfing with the fans, man. It was exciting. It was exciting time at MSG. And the Knicks bought it. The Knicks bought it this year. So good season overall, but still the playoffs sting. The playoffs sting a little bit. Maybe I need another week. Maybe I need another week to like really enjoy the season overall. I haven't even wanted to look at all the old videos, man. I've just been healing. It's just the healing period for me.
Yo, Triple M, before you go down, real quick, I just want to ask you. So, if Miami gets past Boston and make it to the finals, will you feel a little better with the loss?
Yeah, I think so. Of course, of course. That's an easy answer. Of course. And they won game one, so that already made me feel better. Like, all right, they won a game one. But it
Bro,
was just like
indeed.
I said, like even the last game, Knicks lose 96-91. I mean, bro, we made Jalen Brunson made 14 field goals. The rest of the team made 13. Like, that's just bad execution. And the Miami Heat defense they was giving us open shots. I mean, RJ was like one for something, and a lot of those shots was open. Randall, he was just taking bad shot selections at some point of the game. Like, what are you doing? Like, drive and kick and move that ball. And they were just disrespecting the Knicks.
Yeah,
Brunson would cut and they would double triple team him. They like, who you passing it to? RJ, we'll take that. Hart, we'll take that.
yeah,
Randall, we'll take that. We know Mitch is not doing nothing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even if the Heat beat the Celtics, I still feel like if the Knicks would have played like they played all year, we would have won. We would have won that. But when you have Emmanuel quickly a no show, Julius Randle taking on and off games, RJ Barrett taking that off game at the end, Mitchell Robinson be a total liability on. Like these are things that were just like progressing
yeah.
throughout the year. So yeah,
Nah, I
man.
feel you. Don, how you feel? If Miami wins the series, will you feel a little will you feel a little better with the loss? Because I mean, we talking about game six. We not even again, we don't even know what the outcome would have been for game seven. So,
Yeah,
and
We would
this
have
is
won
and
at the Garden. They was not beating us at the Garden game
they
six.
weren't. They weren't. That was a big game for the Heat. But I mean, in regards to what you were asking, Zebo, I do feel a little better. I do feel a little better watching the Heat, beat the Celtics, and in the fashion that they did. I mean, that I don't know, man. The Heat just got something in them, man, and it shows why that team was able to beat us, considering that we were the better team. On paper when you compare and you look side by side of what team, the players on each team, and you're like, nah, ain't no way we losing this. Which is why, like, you can't blame us for overlooking the Heat. Granted, we should have known something, at least a hint of that team being decent on how they beat the Bucks in that first round. But honestly, it took me a couple days to really accept the loss. It might have been on a It might have been that actually, maybe actually, yeah, that Saturday. It was Saturday. I had a long drive down the turn to see some family, and man, some slow Drake came on, and I got in my feelings, man, and I started just thinking back like, damn, bro, the season's really over. So,
Damn, it took
ladies
Drake.
and gentlemen, Nick fans, I tell you, don't Drake and drive, don't Drake and drive, man. It might bring back some bad memories, but hey, man, overall, in regards to the series, this playoff series, it sucks that we lost. It really sucks that we lost, man. But we lost to a good team. Like I said earlier, I completely overlooked this team. Like completely, I had the Knicks winning in five, and the Heat damn near beat us in five. So it was that type of series. But we put up a great fight. Besides game three, every game was close. So it wasn't like we got blown out or disrespected. Like besides that game three, it wasn't like we got blown out. It was every game was competitive. We got some see some we got to see, RJ step up. I felt like that was one of the biggest questions of heading going into the playoffs. So it was nice to see him prove himself. Although, all I can remember is that last game and that performance where he just shot the bed, and honestly, it kind of is over. It overlooks his whole playoff performance, to keep it a buck. But when you want to look at it in its totality, I mean, you gotta just appreciate it and say, you know what, I think we could build with RJ moving forward. Hopefully, he takes what he learned in the playoffs into the next season. But we have to give credit to the Heat, like Zebo said. I mean, that's a team that, they're going on a historical playoff run right now, eighth seed, beating the number one seed in the gentleman's sweep. Now beat the Knicks, and now, after that one game, they beat the Celtics in pretty comfortably, honestly, if you ask me. So, now they got the home court advantage. So it's wild to say, man, that was a team that we, in a way, we're looking forward to facing. We got the Cavs. That was a matchup we were like, yeah, this is the matchup that we want, because we saw our advantages. Then the Heat was like, oh, now we definitely gonna scrape them because we got our advantages too. But then you also throw in the fact that they don't got Tyler Hero, they don't got Oladipo, who, well, Hero was having a good season, but Oladipo was playing his role as well, putting up some buckets during the season. But at the same time, the experience just spoke for itself, man. The Knicks, at the end of the day, besides Brunson, they never been in a situation or a deep run in the playoffs. So it definitely showed on the court. And some people might blame the refs, or, oh, but if Randall just hits a couple shots, or if we don't make a couple turnovers, like, bro, we could say the same thing for the Heat. At the end of the day, we lost fair and square. Give those people them flowers. Spoelstra, I mean, like Zebo said, man, he's arguably one of the best coaches in the league. And I'm surprised he actually hasn't even won a Coach of the Year award so far in his career, because that man is actually, what he's doing right now in the playoffs is a masterpiece, and it can't be said enough, man. But regardless of looking past the series and just looking at the season overall, I'm grateful and appreciative of what we saw this year. It was an amazing ride. I mean, pretty much like Triple M said. I mean, I can't remember. I could remember the last time the Knicks had had this much fun with the Knicks was around the Knicks tape era, and that was exactly a decade ago. So the fact that we were able to make a run this far, I mean, I had the Knicks at least make it to the playoffs. Most of us had playing eighth seed, type of predictions. And even after that start, 10 and 13 start, some people were like, damn, I don't even know if we're gonna make it that far, like we might be lucky to make the play. And then, as at the end of the day, guys picked it up, expectations started picking up, and fortunately for us, the matchup just played in our favor. But at the same time, like I was real high on the team, and I saw enough that we could make it to the second round. People looking at me crazy, but we saw enough of this team, especially during the season. I mean, Randall, All Star, 13, All NBA player. We got Brunson, who we know deserved to be an All Star, who should have got consideration for All NBA as well. He did his thing. I mean, we felt like we at least had two cornerstones with RJ being the X factor, and he stepped up too. And we know that if those three guys are clicking, it's gonna be hard to beat us. It's gonna be hard to beat us, which I felt like that, which was part of the reason why I felt like we gave it a good shot in this round, considering that Randall was barely like playing his best game, but we were there competing because RJ and Brunson was out here doing their thing. So, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was a wild season. We have so many memories. I mean, from Manuel Quickly 38-point game, double OT against the Celtics. We got Randall going off against the Wizards. I mean, Triple M was at the game. That game was crazy. We were down big. Randall just pulls off a crazy game, 46 points, I think it was. Like, the man was on the tear. Um, Randall game winner against the Heat. Zebo, remember, we went to the bar. I mean, there's so many memorable moments of the season.
Yo,
Like,
that's a
why would I
fact.
be disappointed on the outcome was obviously at the moment, but realistically, we got to just step back and and look at what we're building here. Like I said before, our expectations wasn't to make it this far in the playoffs. We expected a playoff appearance for sure, but we take second round and continue building. At the end of the day, we're fans and we don't control what goes on in the front office. We don't control these players what they do in the off season, but at least we see the culture that's building here, and we see, and I fully trust that our front office and the players are going to do the necessary moves or the necessary workout or whatever the case may be to either make it back to the second round or make it past it. Because, like I said, I feel like the foundation that's being set here right now with this team is something I could move forward and say, look, we got something going here, man. And you already hear the rumors. The Knicks are positioned to do a lot of big things this summer. It's just the question is, are they gonna pull the trigger on a few of these assets? Are they gonna, make some big decisions overall that could really alter the could really alter this roster? But we'll see, man. I'm excited. I'm excited, but at the same time, I could admit it wasn't a failure, far from a failure, man. Second round, we hold our head to it. And like we all, like y'all both said, man, we got a point guard and we got a player that we know that he's gonna be a staple, and he is the guy that he's gonna be part of our core that's gonna lead us to the championship sooner than later.
Yeah, shout out to Zebo and Don Juan. They brought that positive energy to the building. It is true. Just even together, we had a lot of fun Knicks memories and stuff at that watch party. Even the last game, that was pretty fun experience. Game five at the restaurant, man. What a game! What a year! What a year, fellas! And even on the pod level, we kept it consistent all year. Pretty funny just to look back at all our take, the highs and the lows, the mid-year Knicks. We called them at one point. Then we out here screaming Eastern Conference Finals at another point. It's been a fun year. Just got to keep building. Got to keep building because after 2013, the wheels fell off. 2 years ago, very bad season the following season. So gotta just build on it. It's gonna be a big off season. We're gonna talk a lot about it throughout the off season. But there's still a negative cloud here, fellas. Despite the good season, there's negative clouds here in Gotham, and
Hmm.
it goes by a couple people. One being Zebo's boy Julius Randle got out the game after the watch party, and fans were scribbling on his face, trading, and they knocked him down. The cops had to come and take the Julius Randle poster off. Just an embarrassing by the fans there. No matter how much you hate the player, whatever the case might be, that's just very unnecessary. But let's not even go into that. Let's just talk about Julius Randle. Overall, his play. A lot of people want Julius Randle traded. Zebo, how do you think the Knicks should treat Julius? I gotta go with you because you're the biggest Julius fan besides Omar from Worldwide Knicks. How do you think that the Knicks should handle this Julius situation?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think they have to be patient. I don't think they, I don't. Well, obviously, I think with this front office, I mean, we can trust them with, with them being patient and not making a quick decision just based off one series. I mean, again, now I will say that obviously the Atlanta series, from 2020 wasn't good at all. Wasn't good as well. But I'll be honest, I think they need to treat this I think they need to be patient because again, like I said before, man, this man averaged 25 and 10, and there's not a lot of players in the league right now averaging that. And so for you to get equal value for that, I just don't, I just think it's gonna be hard. And also hearing what the perception of Julius Randle is, it seems like teams will try to finesse the Knicks, and that's something that the front office, one thing that we can say about the front office that's a positive is that they won't. They're not looking for the quick fix. They're not looking to get swindled on any deal. So I think they need to just keep the same approach they've been keeping all year. be patient. If the right deal is there, then take it. But if not, honestly, I don't. Honestly, I don't mind him. I really don't mind him staying. Like you spoke about a negative cloud. I don't really. I really don't see it, bro. I just really don't see it.
Man, nah,
Like if we
if you
like
don't see that, then you gotta be a little.
I don't see it right now. I
How you
just
don't
don't
see
see
it,
I don't see it right now because I just don't see
bro?
the deal.
What?
I don't see the deal to make. The only reason, but I
No,
say
I'm
that
talking
because
about
I'm looking at the
his energy is a dark cloud right now. On
that
the
is the again the body
that's what
language
I
is
meant.
the body
That's what
language
you
is bad.
mean.
Listen, I can't even I'm not gonna front, bro. The body language is bad. I can't even argue with you on that. But again, though, my question is though, if you again if you want to go ahead and trade him, cool. Tell me the deal that's out there for me to go ahead and for us to go ahead and do. Right now, I just don't really see it right now. And again, it's not like we're gonna get a Julius Randle for example for Damian Lillard straight up. Like it's just not gonna happen. I think teams outside of the Knicks, they know Julius Randle. Again, the same bad body language that we see in every single game, they're seeing it as well. So again, the value that Julius Randle has outside of the Knicks, it doesn't seem very good. And so I just think that teams will try to take advantage of that. And I just don't want that to happen. So if that's the case, then might as well keep the guy averaging 25 points and 10 rebounds. Like, if that's
There
I
you
mean,
go.
if that's what it is, that's what it is. Like,
All right.
but
I mean,
yeah, I mean, right now,
that's
just let's
fair.
just keep it patient.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair to say. Don Juan, what's your thoughts on this Julius Randle?
It's tough, man. I don't even know how Zebo don't see the cloud, man. I don't know if you walking out with a bandana or a little cover on your eye, man, because it's dark out here, man. I'm not gonna lie, especially just regarding Randall, not the team overall. The team is orange and blue skies, but when you bring up Randall, it starts raining a little bit. I don't know, but honestly, I feel like we hit a point with no return with Randall, man. It really doesn't matter. All NBA, All Star. I don't think it's. I mean, just based off of fan reaction, not necessarily on the team. We don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. We do see what's going on the court, and sometimes it be looking a little funny. And we're not blind. We know we can see whether it's body language or teams being here, players being over there. Like we can see a little something going on, but I just think it won't be healthy because the fans at the end of the day, they're gonna go to the game, they're gonna buy these tickets, and they're gonna boo the hell out of Randall. And we already know how that goes. Randall doesn't react well to criticism for the fans. This year he played good and so the fans had no reason to boo him. But then came playoff time, look what happens. Was a no show. Granted, I've I mean I've had my ups and downs with Randall, but at the same time, I was still at least I never overlooked the injury that he was dealing with. So I was always throwing that into the equation. Like, look, maybe the performances is not really just a playoff thing. It's the fact that he's hurt is a lot to overcome, especially for a big dude. Just with a quick turnaround, you putting a lot on him. Mind you, he's either the lead scorer of the team or the second guy on the team that he has an anchor to carry. Because considering the fact that none of us could hit shots, I mean, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. But at the same time, the fans I feel like just had enough. Just saw last year, man. The fans was going crazy on him as they should have. But at the same time, I just felt like the fans should be there to pick their mans up instead of kicking them while they're down. And that's what fans are about. They shouldn't be booing the player when at the end of the day, the guy is giving his all on the court day in and day out. Like and Matt Triple M's always saying that he's an imperfect player, and I feel like that's something that some fans haven't gotten over with. I feel like we've just ignored the fact that that's who he is and think he's just LeBron James. There, like, come on now, like yeah, there's expectations and there's reality. We know what we got in Randall, and at the end of the day, he's gonna give you 25 and 10. It might not be pretty, it might not be how you like it, but he's gonna do it, and he's capable of doing even more than that. And honestly, I felt like maybe us or maybe just Zebo and I at times, but I feel like we know that he's capable of even more what he's doing now and efficiently. But it's more which is, it might open another conversation, is the coaching the right person to be leading the helm here? Is he the guy to, you know, put Randall in the position to succeed? Is he the guy to put Randall
Yeah.
in? Is he going to hold him accountable? And I feel like there's times that, you'll hear Tibbs after games, and he's like, because we got to make sure we move the ball, this and
Now we
that.
gonna talk about Tiz. We're gonna talk about Tiz. I don't want
Now,
you to
but
get
it's leading to Randall. But Tibbs even say move the ball, and then Randall doesn't do that on the court, or defense, and he's not playing defense. So it's like like something's got to give from both sides, and that's why I think it's a bit of a cloud and the fans see it. But like Zebo said, at the end of the day, in terms of his value, I mean, there's nobody we could get at that value right now, personally, unless we're gonna obviously combine and make a pick, make a package for somebody. I just don't see us getting an equal value for that type of talent right now. And at the end of the day, like, Randall is an All NBA All Star. Like, we have to, like, that's not no BS. Like, that's real. That's real right there. So we'll see, man. I don't think the Knicks trade him. No, as a Knicks, he's a Knicks. He's so connected and embedded into this team. Like, he was out in Dallas last year with the front office recruiting Brunson. Like, that itself shows you that he's in bed with these people. Pause, no. But at the like, it's just a family thing, and this is something that I feel like is a long term marriage, or at
yeah.
least for now.
Nah, I feel you, man. The CAA is the mob. CAA is the mob, and Randall is CAA, and he's connected to these dudes. He's definitely connected to these dudes. And you even saw it last year, Johnny Bryant. They sent him to Dallas. Get this guy's mind right. That's what they did, and that's what they wanted to do. But listen, for me, I remember. I think it was after that 57-point game, maybe not so deep in the season. I told I came on this show and I said, man, I'll still trade Randall at the trade deadline. Zebo was like, you bugging, you bugging. I think Don Juan called me bugging too. But listen, the thing with Julius Randall is he is an imperfect player. I always say that. But his energy was so bad in the playoffs. In the playoffs with an S, like it's been multiple series, the Cavs series, this series, the Hawk series. So he's just not proving it during money time. He's not proving it during money time and regular season. Yeah, he gives you those stats, but there's just times where he just does not look locked in. It doesn't look focused. So listen, I will try to explore every avenue to trade Julius Randle this offseason. But you guys mentioned it's hard to replace his productivity during the regular season. That it might be hard for this Knicks team who are just not that good yet. I know the fans love Obi, but trust me, Obi is not a starting power forward for 82 games and is not gonna lead you. So that dream is dead. But well, what are you getting for Julius Randle? Like I was asking a lot of people these things recently, and people just like giving bad names like Jordan Poole or like
Gordon
just
Hayward.
terrible. Just the thing with Randall is just that IQ, man. That IQ is so high and low. It's just too high and low for me. And listen, I still be defending Randall here and there because people are just ridiculous. Like people just watch Knicks game just to watch Julius Randall sometimes, and it's crazy. It's like Julius, oh he didn't do this, oh he didn't do that. A lot of Knicks players did the same mistakes. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but listen, when you sign that contract to come to New York, you know what comes with it. I remember 10 years ago, we was doing the same thing to Melo after this series. Like, how can we win 54 games then lose? It's Melo's fault. Melo's not playing deep. And we knew Melo was lazy. We knew Melo was lazy, but he had that smile, he had that New York charisma, and we loved Melo. And Randall just doesn't have that New York charisma. So a lot of fans go after him. But Don Juan said it like the booze was getting pretty loud. Even at that watch party, it was not that many people. When Randall touched that ball, there was a few boos, so it's only gonna get louder especially if he starts off the season bad. And you guys mentioned it as well. Like Randall just doesn't do it good with negative. He just doesn't. So unless then the Knicks can get somebody to put next to Brunson as a two, and it'll be Randall at the three. As far as chart goes, I just we have to try to explore every avenue to get Randall out of here. It's true. It's true, Zebo. I know. I wish I could give you a hug right now, man, because I know you sad.
Nah,
But
man, it's just again, bro. If I'm for it, bro. I just don't want to get finessed in the deal. I just don't want to
but this
do
front
because
office, they
what I've
don't
been
get
here.
finesse. This front office has shown that they
Yeah.
don't get finesse.
Right. Nah,
So,
right. And I think that's what they're gonna but I think that's why he's still gonna be on the team next year. I think they're gonna be
yeah.
patient. I don't think that, I think they'll go ahead and look at the market, see what's out there, but I just don't think right now a deal is out there for us to go ahead and replace 25 and 10. Because again, he was voted as one of the 15 best players in the league. And that's, for us to just go ahead and replace, I think it's better for them to just go ahead, again,
Hey,
like we
but
spoke about what
sometimes
happened last
subtraction
summer.
is addition right there. You can subtract to add. It is what it is. It is what I'm just saying. Like I said, I'll be defending some of these random trade machines I see because I think they BS. But hey, it's gonna be hard. We're gonna hear a lot of rumors, but we need shooting, we need playmaking. Um, we could finesse. So we'll see. But
One thing
we've
I
been
would say
talking a
is
lot
that
about Randall, so I want to get into Tibbs now, man. Tom Thibodeau, Don
one thing I
Juan
was
said
gonna
it.
say though is that everybody, I feel like this off season, everyone besides Brunson is gonna be on the table. I feel like
Oh yeah,
the front office is gonna
oh
explore
yeah, hundred
every
percent.
option,
They have
not
to.
just Randall. So
They have to.
we might not see the same, might not see the same roster
I
next year.
hope not. I hope they don't run it back. I don't want to see the same roster because I feel like a lot of teams are improving behind us. I mean,
That's a
it's gonna
fact.
get it's gonna get spicy. So we just can't run it back. Even though we did play like a 50+ win team this year when we got Josh Hart, but like I said, a lot of teams are gonna be improving. A lot of teams are getting better.
Yeah, and
So we barely made it to
I'll
the
be
50.
he
We
kind of
barely made it.
exposed us. That he kind of laid out a blueprint against us. Granted,
we
we
go
didn't have IQ. We were missing IQ shooting, which could have been useful. But at the same time, that's still a reality. We weren't one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the season. So,
Yeah.
if the teams already are gonna play us that way for sure.
Now, yeah, we need some more playmakers, ball who could make a play with their ball in their hand besides Brunson and Quick. We
Yeah,
need we need more than that. We need more than that.
facts.
So it's gonna be a great off season, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be so wild. But who's gonna be leading this team during the? I mean, we saw Tom Thibodeau in the draft combine. He's chilling out there. I think he feels pretty comfortable, but it's still a conversation we should talk about briefly. Don Juan, I'm gonna start with you because you was already looking like you wanted to get Tibbs out of here with what you were saying about Randall. How do you feel about Tibbs?
Well, the thing is that's the sticky situation right there, man. The Tibbs at the end of the day, like he record wise, I mean, he's been a good coach. Like we can't ignore that. But at the same time, I do think we might have peaked low key. I feel like we need maybe not. It's not a change of voice because I feel like he's still effective. But at the same time, I feel like the strategy, which you've said it plenty of times, it's just outdated, man. We need a little bit more of a modern day basketball where we open up the court a little more for guys like Brunson and RJ to attack. Maybe we don't have the players necessarily to fulfill that perfectly to actually run that type of style of offense, but I do think that it's capable. Julius Randle has shot threes before, but I felt like there's things that we could experiment with where we're playing with a small ball lineup where Zebo hinted at that before, but we realistically we just thought that it would be so bad on defense that you didn't even want to play with, you didn't even want to experiment with that. But realistically, we gotta try it. Is the modern day NBA like style of play? Everybody at least experiments with the lineup, and I feel like Tibbs never experiments with lineup. Yes, I understand. He just wants to make sure that every game He's giving his all and he's consistent. But realistically, we've seen what the Heat have done. We've seen what the Lakers have done. They they just experiment with different lineups and see what works and what doesn't. That's what the season is there for. Granted, yes, in the summer or training camp, you're playing around with your team and you're seeing what you got. But I feel like Tibbs doesn't play around at all. I mean, if not for the if not for Team Reddish and him being forced to play him, he would have never changed that. He would have stuck to a 9-man lineup off rip, But that was a bit of experimenting for him. Granted, we seen maybe 2 minutes in the whole season of small ball lineup. Like that's not enough, man. So I think that with a modern day offense, it would help and maybe unlock this team. Maybe an example I could give you is the Warriors after they fired Mark Jackson and got Steve Kerr. The Warriors were a good team with Mark Jackson, great team. But they got Steve Kerr, and that just unlocked them. I feel like, I mean, we could be a lot better defensively, but during the season, that's what held us down. Like we got the defensive mentality. Maybe at times in the playoffs we were exposed, but we got the defensive mentality there. But what is it offensively that separates us? Is not much besides Brunson. It takes heroic acts from Brunson, the Randalls, and then the occasional RJ game going off. Like we need a coach that we could consistently believe in our offense. We never know what's gonna happen offensively on day in and day out. Like we really don't know, and that I would blame Tibbs for that. And I don't
I think
like
the
it.
Knicks had a top five offense though this year. If I'm not
They
mistaken.
did, they did. That was and
I
but
don't know.
that was late. That was towards the end of the year. After the team is flowing. But I just think that you know
The eye
then what
test.
happened to
The eye
that
test.
offense in the playoffs?
Yeah, we see it
So
in the eye test. The eye test.
it's one of those things like when it matters most, that offense wasn't there, and you know who's the one leading the helm here is Coach Tibbs. He's the one that is the one that should be laying out the foundation in terms of the offense. Defense, we know what we're gonna get from him. That's
Yeah.
all. That's definitely all he preaches. And then he'll be like, "Yeah, defense, defense. Yeah, just pass the ball." And that's it. Like, come on, man. But you're not even telling people to pass the ball. You just saying it in the press conference because that's what we want to hear, man. But for me, I think it's running scores. But obviously, I mean, the man is in Chicago right now. He's all smiles. He ain't going nowhere. They all in bed together right now, man. Them guys is chilling. Tibbs ain't going nowhere. He's here for the long run.
Yeah, I've been saying this for I think like 2 years now. I'm not even gonna cap. The Knicks need an offensive assistant head coach. Like once Kenny Payne left and Mike Woodson left, like we never replaced these guys. We replaced them this year with Rick Brunson because we was trying to get Jalen Brunson. So don't give me that like he's doing anything right there. He's just coaching up his son. So I feel like I don't know why the Knicks don't look to add a offensive kind of minded head coach, man, to give Tibbs that sprinkle, to give that Tibbs like, hey, let's run this play. Let's get some cutting, let's get some attacking downhill because we got the personnel to do that, like Juan said. So listen, my Tom Thibodeau take is when the Knicks are ready and are going to compete for a championship, I do not believe Tom Thibodeau will be the head coach. Expectation raises here fast in New York. We just saw it now. And I think eventually they'll let him go or give him like a front office job. But as far as next year, he's definitely going to be here. I mean, he led a team that was supposed to win 38 games. They won 47, led the team to the second round, has a great relationship with Jalen Brunson, really trusts Brunson. And that player coach connection is huge. I don't think people really talk about Jalen Brunson and Tibbs just being very locked in, where they both trust each other immensely. So there's that factor, but there's Tibbs is he's stubborn. He's stubborn. That Grimes and Josh Hart little mess around that he did. I mean, it could have maybe cost us a series because by the time the Knicks try to switch it back, like then Grimes was rusty. Like it was like corny because Grimes been your starting shooting guard all year. Don't give me that. Oh, he's working from injury because Randle comes back from injury and he's in there right away. Obviously, they're different players, but it's just little things like that that really frustrate you with Tibbs. Going back to the Atlanta series a few years ago, Why is Elfrid Payton starting? Why all year? He want to switch a game 3 against Atlanta. Derrick Rose broke down. So that's like Tibbs is so frustrating, and there's a lot of interesting names out there right now. A lot of good coaches got fired, and I know Zebo. He has a lot of interest in some of them. So I'm intrigued to what you think about that Tibbs situation.
I hear, bro. I mean, listen, if it was for me, I would actually make the change. But like I said, because we did so well this season, I don't think he's going anywhere. But I mean, I think I've said this before, bro. As much as I am a Tibbs dude, like there is a limitation to his, and there's a limitation, like, and it's been like that through his whole career. When he was in Chicago, when he was in Minnesota, like his teams will do well, but as far as getting you to a championship, it's just not gonna happen. And going back to the coaching staff, when you look at the list of guys that he has on his coaching staff, they've been with him since he was in Chicago and in Minnesota. So he's just as far as the staff, like he just picks his guys. Like he doesn't necessarily pick guys that are that are outside of his that are outside of the relationships that he has. So I think that's been the main issue. Like he just has a bunch of yes people like around him. So
Yeah.
um and just going back to the offense, like yo, we actually when I was looking back at it, like we were actually in the bottom when it comes to assists. We were on the bottom when it came to 3-point percentage, and that's all. And again, the assists is just and we saw it during the season, but obviously because Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle were doing so well with the one-on-one ISO, we didn't necessarily notice it, but the ball was never moving. And going back to one of the players, Isaiah Hartenstein, like that's actually the reason why we signed him initially, is because one of his strengths is the fact that he can go ahead and spread the floor, he can pass the ball around, and Tibbs, and that was the initial plan for him, but Tibbs didn't use him that way. Like he had him in the low block. He obviously did well for us because he had to adjust, but that wasn't necessarily his game. Like his game was to actually spread the ball around, pass the ball, be that big man playmaker for us, and that just never happened. And so, I agree with Triple M, man. I think he needs to again get off the stubbornness, get an offensive coordinator in there so that this offense can be a little more crisp. Because again, like I said before, we lost the Miami series because that offense was just horrible. Like we didn't have any. Obviously, Quick was injured, but regardless, we didn't have any ball handlers. The ball was not moving. He would say that he would say in the press conferences that yeah, he's telling the players to move the ball, he's telling Randall to move the ball, but is he really doing that? Nah. Like
Nah.
he's probably telling them once or twice, but he's not emphasizing that because his emphasis is on defense, and so if they can bring somebody outside of his relationships, then I'll definitely be into that because man, the offense needs to
So
be
what about Monty Williams and Nick Nurse? So you want those guys? You think they should fire Tibbs and bring one of those guys in?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely do think so. If they can bring in somebody like Monty Williams or Nick Nurse, like bring a different voice in, I'd be 100% into it. I just don't think it's gonna happen
I
because
just don't
again,
see how a guy just takes you to 2 playoffs in 3 years and
Yes.
is winning a lot of games, and you just be like, all right,
and you're just gonna be like, no, I just don't. I agree with you
I
100%. That's why I
disagree
don't
with
think
Nick
it's gonna
Nurse.
happen. No,
But
yeah, I
those
don't think it's
names are
gonna happen.
definitely interesting, though. Those names.
Those are good. Those are good
I think
names, bro.
Monty
Like, look,
Williams is a hell of a coach, man, and I think he's
yeah,
getting not a fair shake in Phoenix. You know, they got a new owner, a
right.
new shiny new toy in KD, and they're gonna try to do what they got to do. But I really like Monty Williams, Budenholzer, and Nick Nurse. I'm not huge fans of, especially Coach Bud. I really think he's a bad coach. I think he's like Tibbs 2.0. Only reason he won a chip is because KD has a long toe, and the Suns actually just completely collapsed. So, and he got Giannis Antetokounmpo in his prime. But whatever the case, I don't like Bud. Nick Nurse. I feel like the Raptors had a better team than us this year, and they
I don't
finished
think so.
behind us.
I told you I don't think so. I think they're all super overrated.
I mean, if we look, we did the starting five. They have 3 better starters than us.
Mm.
I mean, it's debatable, but at the
It's
same time,
debate. It's
they were
debatable. It's
good last
debatable.
year with pretty much the same team, So I think that's partially his fault. And I've heard that he's another one that was stubborn. He's a guy that is in his ways, and it got him a championship. Granted, The roster was completely different. He had Kawhi Leonard, but it was the system that has gotten him that far. Last year they exceeded expectations, but I felt like this year was like, well, they're running it back because I felt like they were going to blow it up last offseason, just because it felt like it was running its course. But then this season it was a total disappointment. So, and that's the thing, the coaches that got fired, if you really look into the details, all of those guys just had expectations that they didn't meet. Meanwhile, Tibbs exceeded it. So it's just sometimes I felt like, especially in situations like this, when it comes to firing, there has to be a legitimate reason,
Yeah,
and there really isn't a legitimate reason.
yeah, nah, 100%, 100%. I think Tibbs is back, but listen, we've been using this as a therapy session, long episode, but you gotta listen. You gotta listen because it's been a while. We let it out. We let the frustration, the smile, sadness, the disagreement. So it's been a great show. But before we get out of here, fellas, I want to ask you one question. We're gonna look back at this later on. Give me a hot take for the offseason. What's a prediction that you think the Knicks are going to do? Don Juan, I got to start with you.
Wow. Honestly, it's tough. It's tough because I don't see. Honestly, I would say like, oh, they might trade for this guy. They might, but it's just I don't see no player, any disgruntled star in sight. Obviously, the off season is long, but I feel like the Knicks are gonna run it back, and
Hmm.
they might, they're gonna address little things, but it's just the way this team works. It's just marginal
So your
upgrades,
hot take
bro.
is that they're gonna run
So
it
they're
right
gonna
back.
stay put, same guys, bring the whole gang back, and
Mm.
maybe even bring a familiar face, if you know what I mean.
Okay, now I don't even want to get to know what you mean because I think I know where you're going, and I'm not sure I want to go there. But Zico,
Hey
give me a
man,
hot take, man. What you think Knicks off season will consist of?
Man, hot take. See, I'm with Don. I think you know what? I think we keep the mid three. I think we keep Barrett. I think we keep Barrett and Randall. I just don't think there's a move out there. I think any changes that they are gonna make it's gonna be with the bench.
Mm.
I think they're gonna make changes with the bench. But I like
All right, so the
my
guys
hot
is
take
feeling
is that we keeping RJ and we keeping Randall.
the guys is feeling it. The guys is feeling it.
any
Listen,
more
my hot
particular on
take
the bench?
is
Or?
My hot take is that it's gonna be completely different. I completely disagree with you guys. I think the Knicks they need to address not having a draft pick in the last 2 years. So they definitely got to try to get into this draft. I think that they trade Obi. I don't know who I told that to. I think they trade Obi to get one of those Pacers. The Pacers got 3 picks. Maybe we hopefully we could get Duarte back, our Dominican cousin, because the Pacers they got the 6th overall pick. They have a lot of guards and threes that Duarte with Matherin there. He's just down on the depth chart, and the Pacers might look to package him. You bring in a player like Obi, he fits right into that starting lineup. I don't think Obi's ever played with a pass first point guard like Halliburton. That would be pretty dope to see. A lot of alley oops. So I think they'll trade. I think Obi's gone. I think that's my number one guaranteed thing. Obi Toppin won't be a Nick next year, and it sucks, man. I liked Obi, but I don't see it because the Knicks, just like when they lost to the Hawks, they see what they need to do and they try to address it. When they lost to the Hawks, they said we needed more shooting. They bring in Fournier, they bring in Kemba, didn't work, and I think this year, I think they, me personally, bro, I would be super aggressive. I will go all in this offseason because you have Jalen Brunson, who is a star now. He's a star on a 2-year bargain contract. He's on a 2-year bargain contract, making 50 million for the next 2 years. We got players like Bradley Beal making 60 million for 1 year. And who you taking right now, Brunson or Beal? You know what I mean? So if I'm the Knicks, any star, anybody that comes out here, bro, you got to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive. You got to take advantage right now. Right now, for the Knicks, me personally, is the time to go all in, and that's what I
Yeah,
expect to see. What I expect to see them do this offseason.
yeah, you mentioned that before, and it was mainly because of the contract situation. Like Brunson, he's on a deal and he's looking like a superstar right now, for real.
Yeah, And when he gets out, I think he'll be 28. So he's gonna look to get paid again. And now
Right.
you got to pay him because 28 is still in your prime. Jalen Brunson, he looks like an old soul, but he got drafted with Kevin Knox. This is his
Mm-hmm.
fifth year in the league. He's
Mm-hmm.
still young.
He's
He's
still
still gonna
young.
get another payday, and the Knicks, they're looking like they're gonna have to pay him. So that's what I'm saying. These 2 years, you have to be aggressive. Look, if you think Randall, RJ, and Brunson don't work, you got to make a move right now. You have to. You can't be moving on the margins. But the Knicks, the puzzle is so tight that you don't want to make a big move and the puzzle collapse.
Right.
That's thankfully I don't get paid the big bucks to make these decisions. Because if I did, I think Donovan Mitchell would be right there. And Broadway will be like, we'll be having a different show. Like, we need some players to come and play with,
Right.
with Mitchell and Brunson. But yeah, man, it was a great show, fellas. I really had a good time venting out, letting out my thoughts. We had a lot of thoughts to process here. So let's get up out of here, man. Don Juan, what you got to say before we get out?
Hey man, I know you guys will find. Well, I think after this episode, y'all gonna agree with us that it was a good season, right? It was a good season. I know it was, man. Come on, just you gotta feel good. You gotta feel great after what we did. I mean, a lot of success. Granted, we didn't make it to the championship like many of us. Honestly, I felt like it was a small percentage, but I felt like, at the end of the day, we could live with the results. We can't be so losers here like those Knicks fans that were riding on Randall's face. So take that for what it is, man. We got a lot to work on. We got exposed.
Yeah,
Period. You know,
right.
but the off season is gonna start soon. Nowadays, off season is already here. We're already hearing talks. People just zooming, connecting dots. On the Woj pointing up to the sky. But nonetheless, man, it was a great season, fellas. We're gonna be working in the all season, keeping you updated with any news, any rumors, breaking down stuff. I mean, we gonna show y'all the trainings that whether it's IQ, whether it's Grimes, whether it's Mitchell Robinson shooting some threes or crossing people over, man. We're gonna give y'all all, man. So stay tuned, man. Pro am competitions, man. It's gonna be a fun all season. I'm telling y'all,
I
man.
think
Just
so.
make sure to follow us on IG. Make sure to follow us on Twitter to keep up with our latest content, man. And make sure to subscribe and like this video right here, right now, because that's how we survive, man. That's how we pay the bills. So appreciate y'all. And stay tuned in, man. Let's go
Yes, sir.
Knicks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go next. Zebo, what you got to say?
Yeah, man. Just man, honestly, this was a fun season. Appreciate both of y'all for the hard work, man. All like everything y'all did, man. All the sacrifices, man. The time, the effort, and just man, just want to thank everybody, man, because this was really a fun season, man. We met a lot of fans outside, man, during these playoffs, so that was super dope. So thank you, everybody that's been like, that's been watching our videos, man. It's been, that's been supporting, man. This was super dope, and like Don Juan said, man, we gonna be cooking up this summer, man. We definitely gonna be putting out some content. I know Triple M gonna be cooking up, man. So yeah, man, just thank y'all for the season. This was dope, and obviously, man, we just we'll keep in touch, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, shout out to the Gazas, man. Great, great year. Great overall, great years. You guys said it. Y'all hit the nail with the hammer. But let's see what this offseason is about, fellas. See what it's about, man. It's gonna be. I told you, I said this a lot of times. The CBA is gonna kick in 2 years, and a lot of team salaries is looking kind of shaky. It's gonna be a very aggressive offseason for team that need to get under those books. So the Knicks, they're not even near the luxury, especially when you account that Rose is gonna leave, and Fournier probably could get traded easily. But I'm not even gonna go into that, man. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to Zebo. Shout out to Don Juan. And Zebo, you always giving us flowers, but me and Don Juan definitely want to thank you.
For real,
You
bro.
stuck with us this whole year, moved into the starting lineup, and stuck with us. So shout out to you, bro. And shout out to everybody listening. This is episode 60. Make sure to like, subscribe, and we are out of here. Peace.